The morning sun cast a warm glow over the bustling city streets as I made my way to work. Among the sea of hurried commuters, my attention was drawn to an elderly lady struggling to keep pace with the crowd. She clutched onto her belongings tightly, her wrinkled face etched with determination. But as she hurried through the throngs of people, a small object slipped from her grasp and tumbled to the ground. Instinctively, I veered off my path and knelt beside her, retrieving the fallen item, a worn leather wallet. Its contents spilled out onto the pavement, revealing a collection of cards and cash. With a gentle hand, I gathered the scattered belongings and approached the elderly lady. "Excuse me, ma'am," I called out, tapping her lightly on the shoulder. She turned to face me, her eyes widening in surprise as I held out the recovered wallet. "Oh, thank you, young man," she exclaimed, relief flooding her weathered features. "I thought I had lost it for good." "It's no trouble at all," I assured her with a smile, feeling a sense of satisfaction at being able to help. As she inspected the contents of her wallet, a wave of gratitude washed over me. In that moment, I realized the power of simple acts of kindness. A gesture as small as returning a lost wallet could make all the difference in someone's day. Before parting ways, the elderly lady clasped my hand in hers, her eyes brimming with sincerity. "Thank you, young man," she said softly. "You've restored my faith in humanity." With a nod and a warm smile, I watched as she disappeared into the crowd, her steps lighter now that her lost belongings had been returned. As I resumed my journey to work, a sense of contentment settled over me. Little did I know that this seemingly mundane encounter would set into motion a chain of events that would change the course of my life. The crisp morning air carried a sense of anticipation as I approached the towering glass facade of Griffin Enterprises, my workplace for the past several years. Despite the bustling energy of the city around me, a knot of apprehension coiled in the pit of my stomach. Something felt off, though I couldn't quite put my finger on it. As I stepped into the sleek lobby, the receptionist greeted me with a cheerful smile, but her warmth did little to ease my growing unease. Ignoring the flicker of doubt gnawing at the edges of my mind, I made my way to the elevator, heart pounding with each passing floor. Finally, I reached the executive suite, a pristine realm of polished wood and gleaming marble. The air seemed to crackle with tension as I approached the imposing double doors of the CEO's office. With a hesitant knock, I announced my presence and was promptly ushered inside. Seated behind a massive mahogany desk, Mr. Griffin cut an imposing figure, his steely gaze fixed upon me. To his right sat Joseph, my colleague and erstwhile confidant, his expression unreadable. "Ethan, please have a seat," Mr. Griffin intoned, gesturing toward the plush leather chair opposite his desk. I complied, though my nerves jangled with a sense of impending doom. "I'll cut to the chase," Mr. Griffin began, his voice grave. "After careful consideration, we've decided to terminate your employment with Griffin Enterprises." Shock reverberated through me like a thunderclap, leaving me reeling in disbelief. "Terminate? But why?" I stammered, struggling to comprehend the gravity of his words. Joseph remained silent, his gaze fixed upon some distant point beyond the confines of the office. It was then that I realized the depth of his betrayal, the orchestrated machinations that had led to my downfall. "Joseph," I implored, turning to him for answers, "is this your doing?" A mirthless chuckle escaped his lips, devoid of remorse or regret. "You've always been too naive, Ethan," he sneered. "You think this is about merit? It's about power, and I have no qualms about wielding it." Anger surged within me, fueled by a potent mix of indignation and betrayal. "You would stoop to this?" I seethed, my voice laced with contempt. "To sabotage a colleague for your own gain?" Joseph's expression remained inscrutable, a mask of indifference concealing his true intentions. "In this cutthroat world, Ethan, you either rise to the top or get trampled underfoot," he retorted, his tone laced with venom. "Consider yourself trampled." As the weight of his words settled upon me, a sense of resignation washed over me. The battle had been lost before it even began, the outcome predetermined by forces beyond my control. With a heavy heart, I rose from my seat, the weight of defeat bearing down upon me. Little did I know that this was only the beginning of a journey fraught with betrayal, redemption, and ultimately, vindication. In the wake of Joseph's betrayal, I found myself grappling with a torrent of conflicting emotions. As I retreated into the solitude of my thoughts, I couldn't help but reflect on the tumultuous journey that had led me to this point. Seated alone in the dimly lit confines of my apartment, I sifted through the memories that had shaped my career at Griffin Enterprises. From the heady days of triumph to the crushing weight of defeat, each experience had left an indelible mark upon my psyche. Lost in contemplation, I traced the contours of my journey, from the humble beginnings of my career to the dizzying heights of success. But with success came its own set of challenges, chief among them the relentless machinations of individuals like Joseph. He was always a snake in the grass, I muttered to myself, the bitterness of betrayal still fresh in my mind. But I never imagined he would stoop to such depths. As I grappled with the implications of Joseph's deceit, a sense of resignation settled over me. The corporate world was a battlefield, and I had been ill prepared for the treacherous terrain that lay ahead. But amidst the turmoil, there were moments of clarity, glimmers of hope that pierced through the darkness. It was in those moments that I found solace, drawing strength from the knowledge that I had faced adversity before and emerged stronger for it. As the hours stretched into the night, I wrestled with the demons of self-doubt and insecurity that threatened to consume me. But with each passing moment, I resolved to rise above the challenges that lay before me, to reclaim my place in the world with renewed vigor and determination. It was then that a knock at the door shattered the silence, pulling me from the depths of my introspection. With a sense of trepidation, I rose to answer it, my heart pounding with anticipation. Standing on the threshold was Olivia, the cleaner from Griffin Enterprises, her eyes filled with concern. "Ethan, are you all right?" she inquired, her voice soft with sympathy. I offered her a weary smile, grateful for her unexpected presence. I'm fine, Olivia," I replied, though the truth was far more complicated than I cared to admit. But Olivia saw through the facade, her gaze penetrating the walls I had erected around my heart. "You don't have to pretend with me, Ethan," she insisted, her voice gentle yet firm. "I can see that you're hurting, and I want to help." Touched by her genuine concern, I allowed myself to open up, to share the burden of my troubles with someone who truly cared. And as we sat together in the quiet solitude of my apartment, I found a glimmer of hope amidst the darkness, a beacon of light to guide me through the storm. In the days following my dismissal from Griffin Enterprises, I found myself adrift in a sea of uncertainty. The sting of betrayal still lingered, a constant reminder of Joseph's deceit. Yet amidst the turmoil, there was a beacon of light, a source of solace that I had never expected to find. It was in the form of Olivia, the cleaner from the office, whose kindness and compassion had offered me a lifeline in my darkest hour. Despite the vast divide between our positions within the company, Olivia had extended a hand of friendship, offering support when I needed it most. One evening, as I wandered the deserted corridors of Griffin Enterprises, lost in the labyrinth of my own thoughts, I stumbled upon Olivia as she went about her duties. Her presence was like a ray of sunshine in the dimly lit hallways, her smile warm and welcoming. "Ethan," she greeted me, her voice tinged with concern. "I didn't expect to see you here so late." I offered her a weary smile, grateful for the opportunity to escape the confines of my own mind. "I could say the same for you, Olivia," I replied, my voice tinged with gratitude. "What brings you here at this hour?" Olivia shrugged, a playful glint dancing in her eyes. "Just keeping the office spick and span," she quipped, though I could sense the weight of exhaustion behind her words. As we fell into step together, a sense of camaraderie blossomed between us, a shared understanding born out of adversity. Though our backgrounds couldn't have been more different, we found common ground in our struggles, drawing strength from each other's presence. As we talked, the barriers that had once separated us began to crumble, replaced by a newfound sense of connection. Olivia shared stories from her own life, offering glimpses into the hardships she had faced and the resilience that had carried her through. "It's not easy working in a place like this," she confided, her voice tinged with vulnerability. "But I do what I can to make a difference, no matter how small." Her words struck a chord within me, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there was still hope to be found. And as we parted ways that evening, I found myself filled with a renewed sense of purpose. a determination to rise above the challenges that lay before me, with Olivia by my side. In the days that followed, our friendship blossomed, offering a sense of stability in the midst of chaos. And though the road ahead was uncertain, I knew that with Olivia by my side, I would never be alone. For in the unlikeliest of places, I had found a source of comfort and strength, a beacon of light to guide me through the darkness. The aftermath of my dismissal hung heavy in the air, casting a pall over my every thought and action. As I navigated the labyrinthine corridors of Griffin Enterprises, a sense of betrayal gnawed at the edges of my consciousness. Joseph's treachery had shattered the illusion of camaraderie, leaving me adrift in a sea of uncertainty. Determined to uncover the truth behind my sudden termination, I embarked on a quest for answers. With each passing day, my resolve hardened, fueled by a burning desire for justice. It was during one of my clandestine investigations that I stumbled upon a crucial piece of evidence, an incriminating email exchange between Joseph and Mr. Griffin. The contents laid bare the extent of their collusion, revealing the web of deceit and manipulation that stretched back years. Armed with the damning evidence of Joseph's treachery, I embarked on a mission to expose the truth and hold him accountable for his actions. With each passing day, my determination grew, fueled by a burning desire for justice and redemption. The first step in my plan was to confront Joseph and confront him with the evidence of his misdeeds. I found him lurking in the corridors of Griffin Enterprises, his demeanor as smug and self-assured as ever. "Joseph," I called out, my voice tinged with contempt as I approached him. "We need to talk." He turned to face me, a smirk playing at the corners of his lips. "Ah, Ethan," he replied, his tone dripping with disdain. "To what do I owe the pleasure?" I wasted no time in getting to the point, brandishing the incriminating documents before him like a weapon. "I know what you did, Joseph," I accused, my voice ringing with righteous indignation, "and I have the proof to back it up." His facade of indifference crumbled in an instant, replaced by a mask of uncertainty. "You have no proof," he insisted, though the tremor in his voice betrayed his confidence. But I was undeterred, pressing on with relentless determination. "Oh, I think you'll find that I do," I countered, my voice laced with scorn, "and I intend to see justice served." As the gravity of my accusation sank in, Joseph's composure slipped, his facade of invincibility crumbling before my eyes. "You can't do this," he pleaded, desperation seeping into his tone. "You'll ruin everything." But I remained steadfast, refusing to be swayed by his hollow protests. "The truth will out, Joseph," I declared, my voice echoing through the deserted corridors, "and you will answer for your crimes." With that, I turned and strode away, leaving Joseph to grapple with the consequences of his actions. The battle was far from over, but with the truth on my side, I knew that victory was within reach. In the days that followed, the evidence of Joseph's wrongdoing spread like wildfire, casting a shadow of doubt over his once untouchable reputation. And as the walls closed in around him, I watched with grim satisfaction as justice finally caught up with the man who had sought to destroy me. But amidst the chaos, there was a glimmer of hope, a sense of redemption that washed over me like a wave. For in exposing the truth, I had not only vindicated myself, but also laid the groundwork for a brighter future, free from the shadows of deceit and betrayal. As the dust settled on the aftermath of Joseph's downfall, I found myself standing at the precipice of a new beginning, a chance for redemption and renewal in the wake of adversity. With Joseph's deceit exposed and justice served, I emerged from the ashes of my former life with a renewed sense of purpose and determination. The corridors of Griffin Enterprises buzzed with anticipation as rumors of Joseph's dismissal spread like wildfire. For the first time in what felt like an eternity, there was a sense of hope in the air, a belief that the tide had finally turned in our favor. As I stepped into the office that morning, I was greeted by a chorus of whispers and sidelong glances. But amidst the lingering skepticism, there was also a newfound sense of respect, a recognition of the role I had played in bringing Joseph's wrongdoing to light. Mr. Griffin's office had become a revolving door of visitors, each eager to offer their congratulations and support in the wake of Joseph's departure. But it was his unexpected summons that caught me off guard, drawing me into the inner sanctum of power once more. "Ethan, please have a seat," he gestured, his expression grave yet tinged with a hint of warmth. I owe you an apology." I blinked in surprise, taken aback by his unexpected admission. "An apology, sir," I echoed, unsure of what to make of his sudden change in demeanor. Mr. Griffin nodded, his gaze unwavering. "I allowed Joseph's ambition to cloud my judgment," he confessed, his voice tinged with regret. "But thanks to you, the truth has been revealed and justice has been served." I sat in stunned silence, the weight of his words sinking in. For years, I had toiled in the shadows, struggling to make my voice heard amidst the cacophony of corporate politics. But now, with the support of Mr. Griffin and my colleagues, I stood on the brink of a new era, a chance to rewrite the narrative of my career and reclaim my rightful place within the company. As I left Mr. Griffin's office that day, a sense of euphoria washed over me, a feeling of liberation that I had not felt in years. For in exposing Joseph's deceit, I had not only redeemed myself, but also paved the way for a brighter future for all who had suffered at his hands. In the days that followed, I'd assumed my new role with a sense of purpose and determination, eager to leave the past behind and forge a path toward a brighter tomorrow. And as I looked out over the bustling cityscape from the window of my office, I knew that the best was yet to come, a testament to the power of redemption and renewal in the face of adversity.